A man has traveled through time and become a second generation rich. Every month there are 600 million in pocket money, but he's very afraid of it, because Tang Yu has transformed into the major villain in a city romance story. The female lead in the book happens to be the eldest daughter of the Su family, who is about to get engaged to him. If we follow the plot, on the day of the engagement, he will be kicked to death by the Dragon King, so that I can spend freely until the end. Tang Yu must stop this engagement banquet. Today is the birthday banquet of the Tang family's elder. The prominent families of the entire Su lineage have arrived. According to the plot of this book, today he will get engaged to the female lead, Su Mu Yu. The Su family is also one of the 4 major families of Su Jing, but ranked last. Tang Yu is Su Mu Yu's ultimate devoted admirer, spared no effort using various family resources for a full 3 years. Finally, the elders of the Tang family could no longer bear to watch. Finally decided to settle the matter of the arranged marriage. Yi Chen, as the Dragon King, learned about this matter. At the birthday party, a fight broke out and Su Mu Yu was taken away. Tang Yu, the devoted admirer, was kicked into a vegetative state by Yi Chen. Soon it will be a life wasted. Tang Yu scanned the hall with her eyes. Soon his gaze locked onto the face of a young man. This man is Yi Chen. His current identity is Su Mu Yu's bodyguard. At that moment, the female lead, Su Mu Yu, walked over. With a hint of disdain, they looked at Tang Yu. "Tang Shang, please don't bother me. Let's put an end to the marriage arrangement. I won't agree to it." Tang Yu was of course eager to hear this. Nodding, "I said I agree." Su Ma Yu was momentarily taken aback. She stared wide-eyed at Tang Yu. "I'm a bit hesitant to believe in myself." Seeing Su Mu Yu not reacting, Tang Yu quickly urged her. "Isn't this about dissolving the marriage arrangement? Let's go tell the elders together. As long as we don't marry, Yi Chen has no reason to make things difficult for himself, right? This child of abandoned desires. As a villain, all I can do is not provoke her. Then it would be great to be a rich and handsome guy happily living until the end." Su Mu Yu nodded in agreement. "Leave together with Tang Yu. I'm getting ready to talk to the elders." At this moment, Tang Yu walking in front had a calm expression. But inside I was overjoyed. "Feel better? Quickly cut ties with this foolish woman. With this, Yi Chen won't be able to trouble me any more. They must also live to the end of the novel. It's just a pity. The graceful beauties of Sezhu and Hangzhou, being Ye Cheng's harem, is not counted. It also brought disaster to the Su family, leading to their ruin." The sound of these few complaints suddenly appeared in Su Mu Yu's mind. Su Mu Yu can be sure. This is definitely Tang Yu's life, because there are only the 2 of them in the corridor now. She is known as the beauty of Sezhu and Hangzhou. It relies not just on looks, and exceptional intelligence and talent. After quickly understanding all of this, her expression darkened slightly. "Yi Chen, this is the bodyguard she hired some time ago. At that time, she was harassed by a few thugs. The other party reached out to save her. She saw that Yi Chen's skills were quite good. To repay the favor, she stayed at the Su family as a bodyguard. Yi Chen became a bodyguard, helped her with quite a few things. The 2 became good friends. What is the situation with the harem? Go be a concubine for a little bodyguard. It also brings misfortune to the family." In this moment, Su Mu Yu felt a deep sorrow for Yi Chen. "I am the proud daughter of the heavenly teachings. How could a little bodyguard become part of the harem? A man has crossed into a bold faction of a novel. Every month there are 6 women just for pocket money. I thought I had reached the pinnacle of my life. I never expected to be kicked to death by the protagonist tonight. The only way to survive is to break off the engagement with my fiancé. Tang Yu pulled Su Mu Yu. The two arrived at a study, the elders of the Tang and Su families inside, sitting together to discuss the arranged marriage. Tang Yu, you came at the right time. I have something to tell you all. I just talked with your Uncle Su and the others. I think you and Mu Yu are quite a match. I plan to settle your marriage. What do you think? The person speaking is Tang Yu's father, Tang Ganqiao. Tang Yu unexpectedly refused on the spot, saying it was inappropriate. Everyone in the room had strange expressions on their faces. Everyone in Suheng knows. You chased after her for 3 whole years. Tang Yu spoke with righteous indignation. There is a saying among the elders, a forced melon isn't sweet. I have been reflecting on things recently. I realized that my personality doesn't really match with Muyu. Marriage is a lifelong commitment. It's better to leave the choice to both of us to decide. After saying this, Tang Yu felt a wave of comfort wash over her. Now I won't get beaten to death. The elders of the Tang and Su families were dumbfounded. After a group of people exchanged glances, Su Muyu's father, Su Chongshan, suddenly spoke up. Zio Yu, uncle knows what you are thinking. Isn't it that Pearl Muyu who pressured you to say that? Don't worry. Today is arranged by your uncle for you. Tang Yu was immediately stunned. You wish I would get beaten to death, don't you? He was just about to explain. Su Chongshan stared at you angrily. Muyu, why don't you tell us yourself? How has Zio Yu treated you these past few years? You still forced him to say such things. You are really going to drive me crazy. Su Muyu was dumbfounded after being spat on the face by her father. What does it mean to force him yourself? This guy was heated inside, okay. Meanwhile, the sound of complaints rang out once again. If you don't respond soon, I really have arrived at great beauty. Do you still want to elope with your dragon king, Yi Chen? Seeing Tang Yu still making faces at him, Su Muyu suddenly got angry. Bastard, always mentioning your Yi Chen. Who does he think he is? Why should I elope with a temple? What is he even worth? And I heard this guy wants to find 10 or 8 younger sisters. He got even angrier. You pursued me for 3 years. It's easy to say you no longer care. Su Mu Yu is about to turn against us. Dad, I didn't let him say that. I support arranged marriages. Upon hearing this, Su Zhongshan revealed a comforting smile. It turns out it wasn't his daughter who opposed the marriage, but it was Zio Yu who was worried about hurting her daughter. Kai actively wanted to give up on the arranged marriage. This son-in-law is truly thoughtful. Tang Yu, who had just been smiling brightly. The expression is worse than if I had eaten feces. Mu Yu, you don't have to force yourself like this. I understand your thoughts. Su Mu Yu lightly bit her pig lips. A flurry of frantic voices echoed in my ears. Who the hell wants to date you? You need to follow the plot of a feel-good story. The Dragon King's palace is your true home. Please wake up quickly. Stop being neurotic. After hearing these heartfelt voices, Su Muyu's lips curled up slightly. A hint of a smile appeared in her eyes. I saw this guy getting frantic. He found it quite enjoyable. Now he is. It looks much more interesting than that previous sycophantic demeanor. At that moment, old Master Tang also spoke up. Since they have taken a liking to each other, then we don't have to worry. Let's go out and announce this. Everyone laughed and left the study. Tang Yu was walking at the back with Su Muyu. I saw a faint smile on the woman's face. Tang Yu really wanted to give her a set of military boxing techniques. Didn't we agree not to enter into a marriage? Su Mu Yu's lips curved into a smile. He was moved by her sincerity. The man dressed like the villain from the novel. The first thing that happened was showed off my goddess whom I have been admiring for 3 years. Unexpectedly, this instead sparked the goddess's interest. On the spot, he changed his mind and said he wanted to try dating her. Tang Yu saw the goddess smile at her for the first time. She reached out to touch Su Mu Yu's forehead. Is this woman out of her mind? If you're feeling unwell anywhere, let's go to the hospital for a checkup. Marriage is not a game. Have you thought it through? But when this reached Su Mu Yu's ears, it became, if you're not sick, then hurry and get treated. If you don't go see a doctor, I have to go see the forensic expert soon. Su Yu became increasingly happy as she listened to the laughter. Seeing this, let's eat the pancakes. She was incredibly beautiful in her heart. She seriously asked Tang Yu. Suddenly, their attitude changed so much. Are you afraid of being a burden to me because of a terminal illness? Tang Yu looked utterly despairing. Why isn't this woman following the script? She must have lost her mind. She has truly brought about her own doom. Yi Chen will definitely come out and make a scene. Finally became a rich and handsome villain. I'm about to disappear. Accompanied by Tang Yu's complaints once again. Su Mu Yu grew more and more curious in her heart. Will things really align with this guy's inner voice later? A group of people returned to the hall. Old Tang first approached, thanked the guests for celebrating his birthday. Then he called Tang Yu and Su Mu Yu to come before him. Watching everyone announce the union of the two families. The Su family members were so delighted that they couldn't stop smiling. Only Yi Chen, tasting red wine in the corner. His expression instantly darkened. She had a fierce look on her face. He strode towards Tang Yu. Su Mu Yu is the woman she has her eyes on. Whoever wants to meddle will die. At this moment, Tang Yu's sarcasm rang out again. She's here, she's here. She came over with killing intent. Why are you still like this? Am I destined to be beaten today? Su Mu Yu glanced after hearing that. Sure enough, I saw Yi Chen approaching with a fierce look in his eyes. This left Su Mu Yu somewhat shocked. Yi Chen coldly shouted in anger, I do not agree to this marriage. Everyone's gaze was focused on her. Today's guests are all distinguished nobles from Seju and Hanju, except for a few members of the Su family. No one knows who Yi Chen is. Su Zhongshan indeed remembered someone named Yi Chen. He is the new bodyguard in the house. I saw her come out to create words. Su Zhongshan's face darkened as he stood up and shouted, What are you? A little bodyguard. You're here to meddle in the affairs of the Su family's servants. A glimmer of killing intent flashed in Yi Chen's eyes. If it weren't for the fact that the person saying this is Su Mu Yu's father, she has already made him move. I am the mighty Dragon King, traveling the world abroad. European nobility. No one dares to talk to themselves like this. She stared at the Su family members. Your Su family can be considered a prestigious and noble clan. For the prosperity of the family, to sacrifice a girl's life. Do you still have a sense of shame? Based on the original plot, Su Yu was forced by her family to agree to the marriage alliance. In her most desperate moment, the Dragon King Yi Chen took her away. Yi Chen broke the shackles within her heart, also became her only support. She fell in love with Yi Chen because of this, became Yi Chen's first harem. At this moment, Su Mu Yu appeared slightly beautiful. There was no emotion or surprise at all. Listening to Tang Yu's heartfelt cries for half the day. Her mindset has completely changed. The man just became the villain from the novel Moonlight Morning. The male lead came to claim his fiancée, Su Chongshan as the head of the family. Nature's wrath is unavoidable. The little bodyguard dares to be reckless. Kick her out. According to the original plot, the first to strike was the security captain, He Jing. You will be the first person to be killed. Soon it would be Tang Yu's turn, the precious egg. Tang Yulian quickly rushed over to stop He Jing. Let's talk things over calmly. Today is my grandfather's birthday. Using violence only brings bad energy. Did you see the young master speak? He Jing finally stopped. The onlookers all praised Tang Yu for his skills, still not forgetting to take a jab at Yi Chen. This is also a common trope in Xuanwen novels. First, let the passers-by fuel the protagonist's anger. The villain jumps out again to show off a few lines. Then he was killed with a single punch. Tang Yu was terrified after hearing these words. Why are you shouting so loudly? Can we be a bit nicer to the protagonist? Insulting others feels good in the moment. I was sent to the crematorium. Sure enough, after hearing these words from the passers-by, Yi Chen's face instantly turned pale, staring intently at Tang Yu. It's all because of this culprit. If it weren't for him, the Sumu Yu would have burned. How did things end up like this? Tang Yu felt a shiver under his gaze. Suffering endlessly in my heart. What the hell are you staring at me for? It's not like I'm cursing at you. This guy as the Dragon King. The entire Tang family's bodyguards together are no match for him alone. Really made him angry. Soon everyone will be able to come to the Tang family and eat their own hearts. Sumu Yu listened to Tang Yu's inner monologue for a long time. Couldn't help but burst into laughter. Seeing Sumu Yu smile, Yi Chen's expression relaxed, the tension easing. He thought Sumu Yu smiled because he stood up to speak for her. He smiled wickedly at Sumu Yu. Muyu, no one can sacrifice your freedom for profit. I'm here. You can go wherever you want. Whoever blocks will die. Tang Yu silently took 2 steps back to create some distance, feeling a bit excited. As long as this guy takes Sumu Yu away. From here on, it's none of my business. Yi Chen walked over to grab Sumu Yu, about to take him away from the Tang family. His hand hasn't touched Sumu Yu yet. Sumu Yu took 2 steps back, coldly staring at Yi Chen. What are you doing? When was I sacrificed for freedom? After listening to the heartfelt voices for a long time, I understand the current situation now, the world you find yourself in. It seems like a world from a novel, according to the normal plot. I have already eloped with this guy. I can't believe I've become part of this guy's harem. He was extremely displeased. Yi Chen's face turned pale, a flicker of anger flashed in his eyes. This woman actually dares to reject me. Muyu, I know what you're afraid of. Don't worry, I'm here. The Tang family wouldn't dare to do anything to you. After speaking, he fixed his cold gaze on Tang. Sumu Yu didn't dare to follow herself. It must be that this guy has bewitched me. What is the Tang family young master worth? Tang at this moment feels like he wants to die. Are you out of your mind? I don't care about trifles. I let the bodyguard handle everything. You, Sumu Yu, are truly a wicked woman. Is this how far you'd go to protect her? Sumu Yu's exquisite face revealed a flash of anger. Pointing at the front door, he shouted, You think too much. You are just a bodyguard for the Su family. You are fired starting today. Please leave here immediately. His Sumu Yu kept saying this. Yi Chen felt sweeter and sweeter in his heart. You see, she is protecting me. He intentionally played the bad cop. She truly is the woman chosen by my Dragon King, knowledgeable and understanding, well versed in literature and art." So she looked at Su Yu with her eyes, a touch more tender affection. A man has just crossed over to become the main villain in a novel. Then I encountered the male lead, Kaio Dong, who was snatching the bride. To save his life, Tang Yu took the initiative to propose an annulment of the engagement. Unexpectedly, the female lead Su Yu clung to him. This instantly exposed Yi Chen, the Dragon King. At that moment, father-in-law Su Chongshen couldn't help but chime in. "You little security guard, don't bother my daughter any more. I only have one son-in-law in this life. That is Tang Yu. If you keep entangling with us, the Su family will never spare you." Yi Chen's eyes flashed with a hint of killing intent. "If it weren't for Su Chongshen, for the sake of my future father-in-law. She has long since turned her back. Since I'm not welcome here, then I will just leave." After speaking, Yi Chen shot a glare at Tang Yu. "The humiliation I experienced today. In the coming days, they must repay the Tang family with blood. Yu, remember this. No matter what happens in the future, as long as you need it, I will definitely be by your side to protect you." Cut off a sentence after. Yi Chen then strode away. I saw the look in Yi Chen's eyes when he left. "Tang Yu is not doing well. Are you really sick? What the hell is going on? Su Yu, I'm begging you. Hurry and go with your future husband." Qi Tang was unaware. Her heartfelt words also reached Su Yu's mind. Su Yu was filled with anger. She has been listening to this guy mumble for half the day. Every few words, "It's always your husband." Su Yu, unable to contain her anger, walked directly to Tang Yu's side. He kissed her on the face. Fortunately, Tang was quick-witted and agile. Quickly covered his face with his hands. Let Su Yu give a quick kiss on the back of the hand. Tang Yu quickly stepped back. "What the hell? You're so vicious. You actually want to kiss me? Fortunately, I have a laser to retaliate. If you manage to pull this off, I still have a way out today." The two stared at each other wide-eyed. The guests saw a minute of footage from the comedy scene. Still having dinner with the couple, Yi Chen, who had just reached the door, heard the cheers. I glanced back. Suddenly I was startled. My own woman. Surprisingly, she is kissing another man. She gripped tightly to herself. In the end, I held back and didn't go back to unleash a massacre. Because she knows. This must be Su Yu trying to compromise for the sake of peace. I had no choice but to do this. After all, I am the Dragon King's identity and power. She is not clear. She still needs to continue her undercover work. We need to slowly investigate the truth behind the massacre from that year. Yi Chen took a deep breath, leaving the Tang family with resentment. Tang Yu had a look that seemed completely broken. Sitting on the sofa, contemplating life. "Are you messing with me, dog system?" Today's plot is different from what was promised. Su Yu in the original story. She probably looks down on this sycophant. But today Su Yu clearly has an issue. She has clearly increased her IQ significantly to protect her Dragon King. They actually sacrifice so much. Tang Yu, before the crossing, was a hardcore online literature enthusiast. By this chance, I obtained a villain system. This dog system made her become the villain in the Pleasure Gate. You can receive rewards for each major storyline you complete. Live to the end. You can still return to the original world with rewards and wealth. Unexpectedly, it gave her a hellish start. The system prompt may be due to the butterfly effect brought by the host's change in the plot. Tang Yu felt that this dog system was getting more and more toxic. Then a series of system prompts sounded. The host successfully survived the first chapter of the storyline. Lillan Borcanini poison, 1 unit. It has been collected in the garage. Afterward, Tang Yu found a car key in his pocket. She took out the car key and glanced at it, suddenly feeling powerless to complain. All I have at home now is money, just money. What good is this thing to me? But being able to survive the birthday banquet. It can be considered a temporary survival through a storyline. The man dressed like the villain from the novel. Just avoided the male lead's wedding snatch. Then I ran into the scene where my ex-girlfriend's father was sick. Tang Mu has just left. The bodyguard captain and Jing ran over with a wooden box. This is what the lady asked me to bring you. It is a gift for visiting old Wang. Tang Yu nodded. Wang Blazy she mentioned. It is the Wang family from the 4 prominent families of Suzhou and Hangzhou. The 4 prominent families are led by the Tang family, the strongest power. The one still in second place is the Wang family. The third is the Qin family. At the bottom is the Su family. Recently, old Master Wang suffered a cerebral hemorrhage that resulted in paralysis. Right now I am recovering at home. Tang Yu immediately perked up. Isn't this a scene from chapter 62 of the book? Why was it moved up? According to the original plot, old Wang has been unable to recover from his illness and paralysis. Yi Chen, as the male protagonist of a light-hearted story, the divine doctor's golden finger, is naturally fully leveled up. What is Teiji Shen Zhen is nothing to talk about. Easily saved old Master Wang, gained the friendship of the Wang family, prepared to conquer Suzhou and Hangzhou for him. Tang Yu is a bit busy right now, based on the original plot. At this moment, she is already innocent of any wrongdoing. It wasn't her who got stepped on in this scene. It is another divine doctor going for a checkup. Let a master face a master, and the master fails. The Dragon King pretends to be ill again. This shows the difference in skill level. As long as it's not me getting stepped on, then everything can be discussed. As for avoiding this plot line, Tang Yu wouldn't dare to do something so foolish. She tried it once before. The consequences of forcibly avoiding the plot, it's a dead end. The system rules are laid out here. You can find a way to make it happen, but you absolutely cannot escape the plot. He Jing next to her noticed the changes in Tang Yu's expression, unable to resist asking her about the Demon Palace. Tan Shan, I know you're still upset about what happened today. Don't worry. I have already sent someone to give that guy with the last name Yi some trouble. Tang Yu was taken aback. Goodness, are you really afraid I'll make it to the end? Quickly asked He Jing to call the person back. Damn, almost got tricked again. She carefully scrutinized He Jingji. This guy looks at the book from top to bottom. They all look like loyal little traitors. This child cannot be kept. Directly transfer her to the South Africa Mining Company, and the salary bonus triples. After He Jing left, Tang Yu was very satisfied. Successfully dealt with a traitor. You can't jump out and stir up hatred for yourself when sent to Africa, right? Holding the gift placed on the table, Tang Yu drove to Wang's house. Tang Yu walked to the living room door. A beautiful woman just walked out. The two collided firmly. After feeling an incredible elasticity in my chest, Tang Yu almost blurted out a curse. She instinctively glanced at the bubble girl. This stunning figure is simply against the rules. The beautiful woman was suddenly hit. Uncontrollably, I widened my eyes and stared at Tang Yu. The beauty is none other than Wang Yixu, the eldest daughter of the Wang family. She is also Tang Yu's ex-girlfriend, the second female lead of this book, because the Wang family and the Tang family have been family friends for generations. They have known each other since childhood. The two were at the same university. During my freshman year, we dated for 2 months. Later, due to some misunderstandings, the two parted ways hastily. Later on, Tang Yu became the most famous Tiangu in Suhang. A man travels through time and becomes the great villain in a novel. Yet he did not know that others could hear his heart's voice. Just escape the male lead's pursuit. Now encountering my ex-girlfriend again. Tang Yu came this time to visit old man Wan. I didn't expect the old man was taking a nap. Her ex-girlfriend Wang Yixu welcomed her into the house. The two initially broke up hastily due to a misunderstanding. Now the misunderstanding has been resolved. The Tang family and the Su family are about to arrange a marriage. Wang Yixu felt immense regret in her heart. Tang Yu didn't think that much. Focusing intently on Wang Yixu, Mu Yu is the most beautiful woman in the Hammer world. I think Wang Yixu is the most beautiful woman in Suzhou and Hangzhou. Okay, look at this temperament. Su Mu Yu is far worse than her. Every day, I feel like I'm falling apart. A feathered eagle. Sooner or later, I have to find a way to resolve this terrible marriage. Accompanied by Tang Yu's voice of complaint echoing in my mind. Wang Yixu's hand trembled, almost dropping the teacup on the floor. She looked at Tang Yu in disbelief. There won't be any mistakes. This must be Tang Yu's voice. This guy clearly hasn't forgotten himself all these years. Still want to crash into the celestial dog. She felt a surge of joy in her heart. Deliberately asked, I heard you got engaged to Su Mu Yu today. Congratulations! Finally got what I wished for. Tang Yu certainly does not admit to this. What a mess. It's all Su Mu Yu causing trouble, okay. That crazy woman is just insane. You have someone else in your heart, yet you deliberately make me play the role of a pawn. Hearing these complaints, Wang Yixu felt even happier. Tang Yu also sensed something unusual. A slight frown appeared on his brow. As an experienced villain, she knew she wanted to keep going. The best way is to stay away from these female protagonists. Her tone immediately grew a bit colder, yet her voice betrayed her. Well, why are you suddenly sitting next to me? My legs are about to stick together. She smells so good. This must be her body fragrance. Wang Yixu felt both happy and shy in her heart. She had a playful smile at the corner of her mouth. He softly expressed that he misunderstood her back then as he leaned in closer. Tang Yu intentionally put on a displeased expression. But deep down, I'm thinking I'm already putting on a long face. You better hurry and get out of here. Is there still any dignity for the female lead? But upon closer inspection, her figure and demeanor are truly remarkable. Just don't come any closer. I really can't take it anymore. Wang Yixu tried hard to suppress her laughter. Does she just like this contrast? Wang Yixu bit her lip, looking aggrieved. She naturally grabbed Tang Yu's arm. Tang Yu quickly retracted his arm with a dark expression. How can this person act like this? Just bumping into people while dribbling the ball is one thing. Still holding my hand. This is cheating. At this moment, Wang Yixu could no longer hold back. Let out a chuckle. Her smile left Tang Yu mesmerized. It's really beautiful. This woman is definitely acting strange. Treating her like this. She should decisively turn away and leave. From then on, we never crossed paths again. Even resenting oneself would be appropriate. Only this way. Only by relying on myself can I distance myself from Yi Chen, this aura of a dog. In summary, the first key point to survive in A Xuanwen is to have a strong will to live. Just don't compete with the protagonist for women. If you can't face it, you can always avoid it. Tang Yugang was about to get up and sneak away. Wang Yixu has already stood up first. She stood up and walked only a few steps. Suddenly, a shout echoed as someone fell flat on the ground. She cried out in pain. Rubbing her ankle, she looked at Tang Yu pitifully. Someone has fallen down. Aren't you going to help me up? Tang Yu originally wanted to refuse. Just a change of thought. What if I come off as too cold and offend her too much? What should I do if she holds a grudge? Women are all petty-minded. Moreover, I'm still the kind of creature that is an ex-boyfriend. She walked over with a cold expression and reached out her hand, pulled Wang Yixu up from the ground. Wang Yixu just stood up. A figure stumbled into Tang Yu's embrace. Isn't this script just a bit off? Can a villain like me really have such treatment? You must stay calm. She is destined to become a woman in Yi Cheng's harem. Quickly help her up and then make a run for it. Wang Yixu, in Tang Yuhua's embrace, felt a surge of irritation after hearing his thoughts. Women of the Yicheng Palace? Who the hell is Yicheng? I still serve as her concubine. Does she deserve it? The man dressed as the villain from the novel had to break up with my fiancée to stay alive. Unexpectedly, I was entangled with my ex-girlfriend again. This is similar to the second female lead's experience of sending someone to their death. Tang Yu certainly avoided it at all costs. Only shows the aloof side of a man. Unexpectedly, this piqued Wang Yixu's interest. Can you? I twisted my ankle. Can you help me knead it a bit? Tang Yuguo decisively refused. If you're really not feeling well, I can help you call your family doctor over. Just pretend I hate you. Quickly get away from me, do you understand? Anyway, we are not suited for each other. You are the harem of Yi Chen. My character setting is a villainous cannon fodder. If she finds out about this, I'm done for tonight. After hearing Tang Yu's heartfelt voice again, Wang Yixu silently scoffed. You're not going to help me massage, are you? Okay, then you leave. I'll tell everyone later. You are taking advantage of me. Tang Yu, who had just lifted her foot, halted her movement, with a look of shock on their face. Elder sister, you shouldn't play like this. Can you make some sense of it? I've never seen that kind of feel-good novel. There are villains who can compete with the protagonist for women, can still survive successfully. Tang Yu could only advise with heartfelt words. But Wang Yixu took out her phone and waved it. I'll give you a minute to think. Otherwise, I'll post on my moments. After a moment of contemplation, Tang Yu decided to choose the latter. Sitting on the sofa with a reluctant expression, grabbed Wang Yixu's jade-like foot, gently massaged her ankle, thinking to myself, when we were in love at first, this girl hasn't developed such a good figure yet. What have we really been eating these years? Hearing Tang Yu's inner voice growing bolder, Wang Yixu also found it a bit hard to bear. He quickly pulled his foot back. Pretending to be serious is much better. Next time I get hurt, I'll come find you. Tang Yu widened her eyes. There will be a next time. Are you just making things difficult for yourself? At that moment, Wang Yixu's phone on the table suddenly rang. She answered the call on her phone. After chatting for a bit, he frowned. Understood. The new energy conference is delayed by half an hour. I'll arrive a bit later. New energy project. To invest in this project. The Wan family's 50 billion cash flow was all tied up, leading the Wan family group to face a serious crisis. Wan Rulong seized the opportunity to take power. Yi Chen plays the good guy and helps Wang Yixu resolve her crisis. Successfully brought Wang Yixu into the harem. Let someone kill Wang Rulong again. In the end, the Wang family still fell into her hands. Hearing Tang Yu's inner voice, Wang Yixu was just about to get up and leave. Jiao trembled, his eyes filled with shock. How does Tang Yu know all this? Wang Yixu lightly shook her lips. The gaze towards Tang Yu held a bit more admiration and emotion. It must be that she is secretly caring for me. Use the Tang family's influence to investigate these matters. She wanted to clarify things with Tang Yu before properly thanking him, but found that I opened my mouth but couldn't make a sound. With no other choice, she could only greet Tang Yu, hurriedly left for the company to prepare for the investigation. As she left, her face was like frost, and her heart was filled with killing intent. What a great Wang Rulong! What a great Yi Chen! If I find out the truth, none of you will survive. After Wang Yixu left, Tang Yu let out a long sigh of relief. Although Wang Yixu seems off today too, but the plot is set here. After Yi Chen finishes the installation at the Wang family, the aura of dominance emanating from him, I will definitely conquer Wang Yixu. At that time, she compared Yi Chen with herself. Will definitely fall in love with Yi Chen immediately. Tang Yu felt delighted in her heart. Suddenly, footsteps were heard outside the door. Tang Yu looked towards the door. Only then did I realize it was a petite and beautiful girl. The girl saw Tang Yu, immediately shows a sweet smile and greets. She is the most famous goddess of Suzhou and Hangzhou, Jiang Zhaoyu. Just turned 20 this year. Yishu ranks among the top 10 in Huaxia. The man dressed up as the villain from the novel. They found that to reach the ending, you can't have intimate contact with other heroines. Tang Yu came this time intending to visit the ailing Wang Lianyan. Unexpectedly ran into my ex-girlfriend. Finally broke free from the entanglement. He ran into his childhood friend Jiang Zhaoyu again. Jiang Zhaoyu walked up to Tang Yu with a sweet smile and asked, "How is old Master Tang doing recently? Did he take the medicine I prescribed him last time on time?" Tang Yulian quickly smiled and apologized to Jiang Zhaoyu. Jiang Zhaoyu gave Tang Yu a charming glare, clearly dissatisfied with Tang Yu's politeness. "If I don't hold back with you, today is going to be unlucky. Who made you part of Yi Chen's harem? This damn stallion. So damn crazy." Suddenly hearing a series of heartbeats, Jiang Zhaoyu was startled. "I am Yi Chen's harem. Who the hell is Yi Chen?" "Brother Tang Yu." "What are you saying?" "I didn't say anything." Tang Yu touched his nose. "Today, these women seem a bit strange, off somehow. This is a caregiver from the Wang family. Invite Jiang Zhaoyu to old Wang's house." Tang Yu quickly picked up her gift and followed behind. A few members of the Wang family approached. After seeing Tang Yu, the members of the Wang family greeted each other with smiles. Yi Chen, standing behind the crowd, saw Tang Yu. The gaze instantly turned cold and filled with murderous intent. He originally planned to kill the rich second generation who dared to compete with him for a woman today. He had just returned to the country for a short while and was still getting settled. Making a big deal out of this is not beneficial to his plan. The two exchanged glances for a moment. Tang Yu cleverly turned her head away. According to the normal plot, this villain should step out and kick Yi Chen a few times. But he isn't stupid. Damn it, he is the author's own son. Why provoke him? Several people walked into the small courtyard. Soon we saw Mr. Wang lying on the sit. Today's task is considered more than halfway done. Next, he just needed to quietly enjoy Yi Chen's show-off. At this moment, Yi Chen, just standing behind, observing old Wang's condition. As a versatile expert, his medical skills are naturally top-notch. Standing next to him is Wang Rulong, Wang Jia Lao Er's only son. He has a handsome appearance, with a hint of softness. Absolutely meets the standards of a wealthy and handsome man. On the topic of talent, he is considered to be of above average status among the rich second generation in Suzhou and Hangzhou. But compared to Wang Yixu, he falls too short. Wang Yixu entered the company. In just 3 short years, the Wang family's assets skyrocketed by 80 billion. His talent is too dazzling. Let Wang Rulong fade into mediocrity. Wang Rulong, unwilling to accept defeat, ultimately chose to collude with outsiders, just to fight for the Wang family's power. The outcome of the next match is predictable. Tang Yu looked at Wang Rulong and couldn't help but shake her head slightly. According to their plan, Yi Chen stepped in to save his grandfather. After gaining grandpa's approval, I approached Wang Yixu again. In the end, he got the beautiful woman. Obtaining the kingdom oneself, the man dressed like the villain from the novel, but found that he had the ability to attract beautiful women. Any woman the male lead is interested in will end up liking him. Even Jiang Zhaoyu, who is currently practicing medicine at the Wang family, also particularly diligent with oneself. Tang Yu felt a deep sense of despair. Yi Chen gritted his teeth in silence. This person with the surname Tang truly deserves to die. The woman I love, is she trying to get involved? To create a sense of presence for myself. Yi Chen suddenly interrupted Jiang Zhaoyu, who was about to perform acupuncture. Jiang Shani, are you planning to use the 13 ghostly needles? Master Wang's divine guidance in treating hemiplegia with acupuncture. Jiang Zhaoyu frowned slightly. She was suddenly interrupted just as she adjusted her energy and spirit, feeling a bit uncomfortable. If you're not sure, then let me handle it. As soon as she spoke, the Wang family members all showed expressions of discontent. Only Tang Yu was clapping and cheering on the side. A classic trope has emerged. First, step up to draw hatred. After venting my hatred, I'll place a bet later. Then let Zhaoyu continue to treat. In the end, Zhaoyu had a problem. She pretended to be sick again. At that time, the Wang family will admire her. Zhaoyu will also admire her medical skills and fall in love with her. But speaking of it, Zhaoyu's treatment has no issues. I just worry about harming the old gentleman's health. The reason for being too conservative in the needle removal. It should be more intense. Stimulating the Wagyu acupoint will help eliminate the stagnant blood. After hearing these heartfelt voices, Zhaoyu's expression instantly became very strange. Yi Chen was scolded by everyone. Although anger surged within my heart, her expression remained calm. This is a middle-aged man scolding. Reckless. Grandfather's health is not a joke. What use is a kid with such patchy facial hair? Yi Chen chuckled upon hearing this. She is younger than me, yet she is a miraculous doctor. How do you know my medical skills are not as good as hers? How about we make a bet? If Jiang Shani can't cure it, I will save the old man. But you all need to apologize to me. At this moment, she feels no affection for Yi Chen. Even found the other person's smile to be extremely greasy. As a healer, how can such a sacred profession as medicine be treated as a gamble? Facing Jiang Zhaoyu's cold attitude, Yi Chen was unconvinced. Wait until I use my medical skills to conquer her. She will naturally become infatuated with herself. Wang Rulong felt extremely anxious beside them. She originally intended to let Yi Chen take the first move, after treating Grandpa. Being a recommender is naturally a great honor. However, seeing Yi Chen's confident and charming smile, she was also infected. They are all laughing like this. Everything is under her control. It seems I haven't remembered incorrectly. After the old man's treatment is finished, There is still stagnant blood in the body that hasn't been expelled. Zhao Yu's treatment approach encountered a small mistake. Just a few more minutes. It's the incident of Yi Chen showing off. Zhao Yu thus developed a fondness for her. In the end, he became part of her harem. Tang Yu's voice echoed once more. Jiang Zhaoyu listened without showing any expression. Jiang Zhu focused on the silver needle in his hand. Soon, her hands moved like a fleeting shadow. After getting 13 stitches in one go, old Wang's expression immediately changed. The Wang family members inside the house also became anxious. The man dressed up as the villain from the novel, unexpectedly, due to her irresistible charm. Once again, the male lead sees me as a rival in love. Yi Chen wanted to turn the game around, willing to bet against Jiang Zhaoyu. As long as she hasn't cured old Wang, you will have the opportunity to showcase your talents, thus earning the admiration of the Wang family and Jiang Zhaoyu. But I didn't expect Jiang Zhaoyu's medical skills to be quite impressive. Yi Chen tugged at the corner of his mouth, showing a look of disdain. Ghost Gate 13 needles. Truly impressive. But compared to myself, it's still far off. Jiang Zhaoyu carefully pulled out each silver needle from old Master Wang's hand. Ask her how she feels. Although Wang Lei's tone was somewhat trembling, but it's already much more fluent than before. At that moment, the middle-aged man from before stepped out. I won't make it difficult for you either. Forcing you to crawl out would tarnish the dignity of the Wang family. But you need to apologize to Dr. Jiang. Yi Chen let out a cold laugh. He raised 3 fingers. Are you sure you've been cured? Let's do it this way. On counting. If the old man is fine in 3 minutes, I can kneel down and apologize. The middle-aged man took out his phone and started the timer. As soon as 3 minutes are up, they want this kid to look good. Jiang Zhaoyu immediately understood after hearing Yi Chen's words. She quickly grasped Wang Lei's wrist to check again. Indeed, some bruising began to gradually gather together. She previously considered that the old man was too weak. I want to gradually adjust my condition with traditional Chinese medicine. The situation has changed. She can only change to a different treatment plan. So he instructed Tang Yu to disinfect another silver needle. Tang Yu nodded. His expression was somewhat puzzled. What does this girl want another silver needle for? Has she already discovered the problem? Hearing Tang Yu's inner voice, Jiang Zhaoyu's lips curled into a smile. I should thank you for this. My brother Tang Yu. She precisely pricked the outer hill point on the old man's calf with her silver needle. After this injection, the old man's calf suddenly turned a large area red. Jiang Zhaoyu quickly fell a few more stitches. Soon, the blood began to flow continuously from the old man's calf. Yi Chen saw Jiang Zhaoyu's actions, and the whole person was stunned. The clown stared at herself. This woman shouldn't have discovered this shadow condition. The middle-aged man standing behind her saw that 3 minutes had passed. His expression darkened. This Dr. Yi, 3 minutes are up. Aren't you supposed to fulfill your promise now? Yi Chen suddenly felt extremely embarrassed. Today, I originally wanted to act like a wise person, conquer the Wang family while also winning over beautiful women. Now it's really impossible to back down. Just a turn of her eyes. Jiang Zhaoyu will definitely become my woman in the future. Bow my head to my wife. It's still somewhat acceptable. I didn't expect that Suju and Hangju would have a true master like Jiang Sheni. Today I truly have poor eyesight. I apologize to Dr. Jiang here. After she finished speaking, she extended a palm. A silver needle floated in her hand. It is the ultimate skill of the Tei divine needle and the Kaiyan needle. After seeing this move, the Wang family members all showed expressions of amazement. Xiao Yu was mostly curious about her, truly worthy of being the Dragon Queen. Flirting always works. Tang Yu's sarcastic remarks quickly rang out. Jiang Zhaoyu's face flashed with a hint of anger. This guy threw himself. At this moment, the impression of Yi Chen is simply extremely bad. Skilled in medicine but lacking in ethics. Focus on healing properly. Still betting with the patient. She exclaimed intentionally. So impressive. So you must keep your word, right? Aren't you supposed to kneel and apologize? Yi Chen's heart was ablaze with fury. Due to overwhelming emotions, the silver needle in her hand couldn't withstand her internal power and twisted on the spot. At that moment, Wang Rulong hurried out to smooth things over. Yi Chen's expression finally relaxed and the tension eased. It was just a moment of anger. If Miss Jiang doesn't mind, let's have a simple dinner together tonight to make amends. Jiang Zhaoyu let out a cold snort and decisively refused. Yi Chen felt both awkward and angry. At that moment, Wan Yixu walked in from outside. There was a hint of coldness in her gaze. The man dressed like the villain from the novel, yet unaware that their true feelings can be heard by the heroines. This also caused the male lead to frequently mess up. But Yi Chen is ultimately a man of the sea. Just bumped arms with Jiang Zhaoyu. After gathering her emotions, she flashed a charming smile at Wang Yixu. Can you please smile normally? You would die if this mouth doesn't touch you right. I just can't beat you. If I can win, I'll tape your mouth shut early. Tang Yu was wildly criticizing from the side. Jiang Zhaoyu heard this voice. Striving to keep my head down, I suppressed my laughter. Wang Yixu also heard Tang Yu's inner voice. But at this moment, she had no mood to smile, just returned to the company. She immediately paused the project and mobilized all the Wang family's resources to begin the investigation. After her investigation, things turned out just as Tang Yu said. The self-proclaimed Emperor Tang is like a dragon. The continuously promoted new energy project is a trap. She needs to investigate further. Otherwise, insufficient evidence will only alert the snake in the grass. She walked to the bedside and held Mr. Wang's hand with concern. Then a group of people couldn't get out of the small courtyard. Jiang Zhaoyu's phone alarm suddenly went off. Indicates that they want to go out for the whole night. The Wang family members greeted Jiang Zhaoyu with laughter. Jiang Zhaoyu nodded. He winked at Tang Yu. Brother Tang Yu, why didn't you greet me? Tang Yu waved her hand with a forced smile. Hey, girl, it's not that I don't want to greet you. Isn't it too low for you to dare? Yi Chen thinks of you as his woman. I want to get closer to you. She wants to mess with me. After hearing Tang Yu's inner voice, Jiang Zhaoyu suddenly felt a bit of acid in her stomach. Treat yourself as her woman. At this moment, Yi Chen was extremely displeased in his heart. I wish I could punch Tang Yu to death. The woman I love. How can I call someone brother? Still calling it so affectionately. However, her expression remained calm. He even took the initiative to greet Jiang Zhaoyu. Jiang Zhaoyu's expression changed in an instant. After praising Yi Chen with a few words, he let out a cold snort. Turn and walk away. Yi Chen instantly suffered internal injuries. This is the first time in her life that things are going so poorly with flirting. But now she can't act out, because the plan to chase girls is not over yet. Wang Yixu is still here. She glanced at Wan Rurong beside her. Wan Rurong immediately realized. approached Wang Yixu and introduced Yi Chen to her. Yi Chen took a deep breath. She resumed her trademark seductive smile. Wang Yixu just gave her a cold glance. "Has anyone told you something? Your smile is really disgusting." Yi Chen's smile instantly froze. This comment has already hurt her self-esteem. Tang Yu couldn't help but laugh. Yi Chen immediately turned his head and glared at her fiercely. The gaze was filled with deadly intent. Tang Yu felt a prickly sensation under her gaze. Cursing inwardly, "Why are you being so fierce with me? It's not like I'm scolding you. Furthermore, your smile is already disgusting. Can't you see it by looking in the mirror?" Several members of the Wang family saw her looking fierce at Tang Yu, immediately complained and started to blame from the side. Tang was deeply moved at that moment. "I really want to cry. You really take good care of me. Don't maintain it next time. Maintain it a few more times. I truly no longer exist." The man dressed up as the villain from the novel, only to find that everywhere she went she was being taken care of. This action directly infuriated the male lead, just because she has lived this long. It was the first time eating rice at the Wang family. More importantly, it was the first time being rejected by two beautiful women. In order to eliminate Tang Yu, Yi Chen arranged for his subordinates to infiltrate the Tang group. After leaving the Wang family, Yi Chen stood by the roadside and dialed a number on his phone. "Chai Ying, what is it like to infiltrate the Tang family group?" "It has been successful. Currently, my position is secretary to the general manager." "Very good. I'll give you a week. Bring out everything I need. A month later, I will no longer have Tang family in Suzhou and Hangzhou." At that moment, Tang Yu, still at the Wang family home, suddenly sneezed. At this moment, the system issued a prompt. The host successfully survived the second chapter of the story. Reward the invulnerability system against poisons. Tang Yu was quite satisfied with this reward. Immunity to all poisons is a great thing. With this thing, the hope for a happy ending has increased a bit more for the dog. Tang Yu is in a good mood and is about to sneak away. Wang Yixu stopped his performance. "What do you think I'm doing with the deer? I know you have a crush on me, but this is not good, because brother is the man you can never have. You are not my destination. Does Yi Chen understand? The man you can't have. I still insist on getting it." He and the abandoned merchant felt. "Do you really hate me, your ex-girlfriend, that much?" Tang let out a cold snort. "If I didn't dislike you, I'm going to escape the beating. Younger sister, brother is just a villain. The villain wants to go down with the dog. You can't compete with the protagonist for a woman. This is what we call a friendship with no fate. Understand?" Wang Yixu nodded, suddenly frowned and pointed ahead. Tang subconsciously turned his head. "Open your eyes wide and look over. I thought Yi Chen was coming to cause me trouble." Just a glance back, but found that there was no one left. Tang Yu had a gloomy expression as he just bumped his head back. The lips pressed against Wang Yixu's face. He seized the moment when Tang Yu turned his head, deliberately leaning in close to the face. In this way, as long as Tang Yu turns his head, the lips are sure to kiss his face. And he was still holding a phone in his hand, recording a video with the front camera. So Tang Yu kissed his face at that moment. Caught on the phone. Tang Yu is completely unwell. Damn it. Are you still the female lead? Is this something a person would do? Still recording the video. Now it's over. What if that idiot Yi Chen sees it? Don't let him kill you. Tang extended his hand with a dark expression. Let him make an offer. At most, we can solve the problem with money. This made Wang Yixu feel like she was just a chatterbox. It's just a money-oriented person." Wang Yixu sighed and shook her head. As a highly intelligent business genius, after listening for half a day, he completely understood. The world you find yourself in is just a novel world. According to the original plot, Tang is the antagonist. Yet I am part of Yi Chen's harem. Harem? What a joke. He has already started investigating the background of Yi Chen. As long as there's a chance, this guy shouldn't think he can leave Suju and Hangzhou alive. Tang, with a dark expression, threatened him to delete the video. "Auntie, what exactly do you want? If you don't want money, then what do you want?" "You want my pure and pristine body. Let me go quickly based on the 10 points. Our Tang family is the foremost in Suju and Hangzhou. Deterrence is something that truly requires understanding." Wang Yixu shook her phone and smiled happily. "Then go ahead and turn against me. If you turn against me, I'll post the video on my social media." Tang feigned calmness. "But if this video gets out, he is really doomed. Have you ever seen a villain like this? After kissing the male lead, the harem can still survive." Since I could hear Tang Yu's thoughts, Wang Yixu has already learned how to handle him. Pulling on Tang Yu's arm, she urged him to come inside. Tang desperately shook his head. Every cell is resisting. Under Wang Yixu's repeated threats, Tang Yu honestly followed him into the house. This is Tang Yu's first time coming to his boudoir. The room is a mess. Everything is in disarray. There are a few clothes left on the bed and sofa. Tang Yu deliberately maintained a stern expression and spoke coldly. "Why is your room so messy? It doesn't even allow people to tidy up a bit." He just wouldn't believe in the supernatural anymore. "The dog from my hometown sees itself and walks the other way. A proud beauty. Is it really that hard to pull some hatred from him?" Wang Yixu smiled apologetically. "Isn't someone about to come and clean this up?" Teng Yu was completely baffled. "Let yourself clean the room." The man dressed as the villain from the novel. But he was tricked by his ex-girlfriend into recording an intimate video of the two of them, in order to keep the male lead from knowing and survive until the end. I can only agree to my ex-girlfriend Wang Yixu's unreasonable requests. Help him tidy up the house. Like many of my ex-girlfriends, Wang Zhu asked Tang Yu about his romantic experiences. Tang Yu knows that women dislike fickle men the most. Without hesitation, tarnish one's own reputation. To be honest, I currently have 4 girlfriends. Do you think I'm disgusting? I've been busy being a sycophant these past few years. The girls' hands have never been touched, okay? If you're unhappy, just hurry up and get rid of me. Remembered, a man like me, wealthy and handsome, is not reliable. Wang Yixu's expression instantly changed from gloomy to bright. I need to find a way to provoke him a little more. Just make him angry and drive him away. Tang's eyes turned. Her gaze was locked onto a lovely white piece of lingerie. He deliberately brought it up with a lewd smile. He turned his head to look at Wang Yixu and leered. The sound of the camera shutter echoed instantly. Wang Yixu sighed while holding her phone. Tang Yu is stunned. Whoa, why aren't you playing by the rules? Why use a mobile phone to take snapshots? It's only been a few years. Why have you become so scheming? Dennett, this is definitely not something that the character Lai Wang Yixu would do in the original story. Correct. I also concede. I won't do anything, is that okay? I originally planned to hide and avoid Yi Chen. Now it seems that apart from Yi Chen, these female protagonists must also find ways to hide and survive. I saw Tang Yu finishing up quickly. Wang Yixu said with a smile, I recently planned to invest in renewable energy. What do you think? Tang's eyes lit up. Finally, he has made it. Although Yi Chen is an idiot. But it doesn't stop me from playing matchmaker for him today. You should start dating earlier. Retire early and enjoy a comfortable life. New energy. What a good business. In the next 10 years, the business world will inevitably be dominated by new energy. He looked amazed and gave a thumbs up. Hurry up and develop new energy. Believe in yourself. This project is bound to make a lot of money, right? The premise is that there are no issues with the collaboration partner. I laughed so hard. They are collaborating with Far's company, right? This company is simply a scam. By then, the project will be in our hands. It's time for Yi Chen to make his entrance. I understand. Today, Wang Yixu and Yi Chen had a conflict. It is to lay the groundwork for the elevation of emotions. The smiles in Wan and Yi Zhu's eyes grew even more intense. Since you have high hopes for it, then I will invest in this project. However, I still don't trust the Far's company from France. Isn't this silly girl's intuition a bit sharp? Far's company indeed has issues, but everything was covered up by Yi Chen. The accounting practices of their company. It will take some time before it gets revealed. As for the new energy technology they boast about, it's not mature yet. There are significant issues regarding safety. To put it bluntly, it's just a dance scam company. Wang Yixu is about to burst out laughing. She felt she had completely mastered the use of sugar fish. It feels as though I have a remote control in my hand. She looked at Tang Yu and asked again. I plan to hand the entire project over to Rulong. Do you think her abilities are sufficient for this project? Tang Yu praised vigorously. My heart was filled with excitement. Everything has finally returned to normal. If I remember correctly, the vice president in your company's letter is Wang Rulong. It's just wearing a pair of pants. She knows this too. She received 100 million from Wang Rulong as a kickback, deliberately helping to create a smoke screen. Wang Yixu squinted her eyes. Vice President Lai, Tang Yu arranged all the cosmetics on the table. There's no rush to leave. But looking at her phone, it means you haven't deleted the videos and photos yet. Wang Yixu pouted in dissatisfaction. The photos and videos have already been deleted. Don't believe me? Check for yourself. Do you think keeping this thing makes me look good? Tang Yu nodded vigorously. Just turn around and walk away. Our grandmothers finally escaped from Wang Yixu's clutches. It's been a long day of hard work. Finally, the plot has been pushed back on track. Jiang Zhaoyu felt a little off. However, Yi Chen has already stated that he will challenge her grandfather at the Jiang family. I guess their story starts from here. As for Su Mu Yu, this woman is just in cahoots with Yi Chen, truly worthy of being the leading lady. To protect Yi Chen, not hesitating to act and put on their own show. It really is high. The man dressed up as the villain from the novel. But because their inner voice can be heard, thus gaining the favor of the female leads. Just got played by my ex-girlfriend. The broken engagement fiancé has come knocking again. Su Mu Yu hesitated for a long time while holding her phone, finally sent a WeChat message to Tang Yu. Are you free tonight? I want to talk to you. Tang Yu is driving on the road. I suddenly received a message from Su Mu Yu. She glanced back and froze. After a moment of contemplation, she decisively pulled over to the side of the road to reply to the message, discussing the marriage annulment. You should have said it earlier. Hurry up, let's all update our parents. Su Mu Yu replied with a series of ellipses. I am at a loss for words. What does my ellipsis mean? Your brother is laying an egg now. Tang Yu originally wanted to reply like this. But I feel the quality of the fetus is poor. You can be criticized by others, but there's no need to overly tarnish your own image. So she demonstrated the quality standards expected from 9 years of compulsory education. Speak your mind or get lost. When to break off the engagement and get in touch again. Su Yu was so angry that tears welled up in her eyes. This indifferent attitude, the contrast with before, was too great for her to accept. Tang Yu quickly replied with a few sentences. Holding the phone, I started to laugh. This is your attitude? How can you continue to act like this? Suddenly, a new message popped up in the chat box. You bastard. I will not cancel the engagement. I want to marry into your Tang family. Just wait. The sugar fish slipped from her grasp. The phone almost fell to the ground. She quickly replied with a message. The result shows a red exclamation mark. The original book is based on emotion. Sima Yu is indeed a very stubborn person. What is determined will not change. But this stubbornness, you shouldn't use it on Yi Chen. Tang Yu's face turned pale. She finally felt that her plan was about to succeed. Now Sumu Yu's actions have left others dumbfounded. At that moment, WeChat lit up again. Tang Yu widened her eyes and took a glance. I just realized that it was Qin Ming behind me. He is the young master of the Qin family, one of the four great families of Suzhou and Hangzhou. In the original context of the book, Tang Yu is known as one of the four young men of Su Hang. He is also a loyal little brother and sidekick of Tang Yu. But her and Tang Yu's fate as a pair of unfortunate companions is quite tragic. Tang Yu died after being kicked into a vegetative state. What about her? A little better. Poisoned to death by Yi Chen. I saw the message sent by Qin Ming. Tang Yu suddenly had an inspiration. That's right. Isn't it better to have players off the field? Where are you? I came to play with you. I am playing in the galaxy. Can you come? The Star River that Qin Ming mentioned is a large entertainment venue. There are all kinds of things to play with, comparatively chaotic and polluted. As a loyal Taniguchi, the original Candy Fish stayed pure and virtuous. I would never come to a place like this. But now, Tang Yu doesn't care about these. Very quickly, Tang Yu drove the car to. This is her exclusive seat. As soon as she sat down, someone brought over the drinks. Qin Ming, after downing half a cup, wondered. Big brother, didn't you just get engaged to Sumu Yu? Let her know you came here. Have you wasted the past 3 years? Tang Yu quickly put down the wine cup. Open your WeChat. Qin Ming took a glance at the chat history. Qin Ming felt a buzzing in his head after reading it. Big brother, you finally stopped being a field dog. To be honest, if it weren't for our deep bond, I had wanted to break off our friendship for a long time. She poured another glass of wine for Tang Yu. We must raise a glass and celebrate with her. Tang Yu looked at Qin Ming and asked humbly for advice. How can I make her stop bothering me? Qin Ming said proudly. It's simple. You can just learn to be a loser like me. At the age of 17, she learned that her arranged marriage partner was a nearly 200-pound young lady, matured overnight. To stop this marriage, she became the most famous nightlife prince of Suzhou and Hangzhou. So this matter has completely fallen through. Tang Yu suddenly awakens to reality. The master's words are wise. Just being low-key won't help you get a dog. Villains in the Xuanwen genre, the reason for being disliked by the heroines. Isn't it just because of a mind full of tricks? Qin Ming immediately made arrangements. Soon, various beautiful women gathered around. The man dressed as the villain from the novel. To break off the engagement, with the female lead he has been infatuated with for 3 years. Not hesitating to turn his little follower into a playboy, Kinming offered strategies and advice based on his extensive experience. After giving instructions, I took a 10-second video with my phone. Tang Yu watched the video twice. I'm quite satisfied. The video shows me looking like a wicked ghost. Several beautiful women were quite cooperative. Kinming grinned. Immediately post the short video using your own account. Boss' short video account has over 6 million followers. Among those who mutually follow him is Sumu Yu. In order to ensure Sumu Yu can see this video, Kinming even specially prepared for him. I've been unhappy with the women for a long time, setting up this display day by day. Let your older brother lose face in the circle. At this moment, Sumu Yu is resting at home. After watching short videos at home for a while, the phone suddenly notified that Kinming loved him. A wave of disappointment and grievance surged in my heart. Cried for a while. He suddenly realized something was off. This guy never used to indulge in a lavish lifestyle. He went out to play and asked Kinming to record a short video for him to watch. He decided to go to the Star River Club in person. Let's see what this guy is really planning. After all, I can hear his voice in my heart. So I called Tang Yu on the phone. I saw it was a call from him. Tang Yu couldn't help but smile slightly. Indeed, the plan was arranged very smoothly. He must have come to unleash his anger. Unexpectedly, a wronged voice of Sumu Yu came through on the phone. What do you really mean? Do you hate me this much? Wait for me to find you. Sumu Yu finished speaking and hung up the phone. Tang Yu furrowed his brows while holding his phone. This woman must be possessed, right? Then he shook off the thick fog. It must be to protect Yi Chen. So he had no choice but to continue acting. It's all part of the act. This woman has a really deep scheming mind. Fortunately, Ji has already noticed. At that moment, Kinming suddenly slapped his mouth. Tonight, I have a date with a beautiful woman. This time is definitely a top-notch experience. At least on the same level as Sumu Yu. Kinming smiled mysteriously. I started contacting the other party with my phone. After waiting for about 10 minutes, a graceful figure walked over. This woman only talks about looks. Not inferior to Sumu Yu, the most beautiful woman of Seju and Hangzhou. Tang Yu smiled as she held the other person's hand, cool as jade. Suddenly, his pupils constricted as he reacted. What the heck? Damn, isn't this the jade-faced fox? Damn it, Yi Chen, this guy is so fast. This has been arranged. Not right. His target shouldn't be me. It is indeed Kinming. At this moment, Tang Yu's heart was greatly shaken. Lin Han, who also shook hands with him, was taken aback. Suddenly, I heard Tang Yu's inner voice. He almost thought his identity had been exposed. He's one of Yi Chen's specially arranged wives. They are the elite at the highest level of the Dragon Soul organization. Tang Yu awkwardly smiled and quickly let go of Lin Han's hand. He glanced at Kinming. This guy is saying with a smug expression, "How's it going, big brother? Is a brother loyal enough? What loyalty you have? Is this a killer? The target is you. Did you really push him onto me?" After hearing Tang Yu's voice again, Lin Han is 100% sure this is not a gift, but rather heard this guy's true thoughts. Lin Han took a deep breath. Although my identity has been exposed, but he is confident that he can easily escape from here. Stay here for a while. Observe more before speaking. Is this guy also the target of the Dragon King? Tang Yu raised her wine glass and forced a smile. Now he just wants to escape quickly. The man dressed up as the villain from the novel, but intentionally crafted himself into the persona of a playboy. The goal was only to annul the engagement with the female lead. Unexpectedly, she encountered the top assassin under the male lead. To avoid giving up too quickly, Tang Yu instinctively shifted her body to the side. Let's create some distance first to find a sense of safety before we continue. This action was also noticed by Lin Han. Lin Han smiled and asked, "What's wrong, Tang Xiao? Are you feeling unwell?" Tang Yu laughed and said, "My butt hurts a bit from sitting too long." "Don't come over here." One must not forget their original intention. "Your target is our Qin Ming, young Master Qin. Correct. Do you know how to find him in a hurry? The dead have their own path while the living have another. Brother, don't worry. Big Brother will remind you later to escape abroad and wait. Still won't stand by and do nothing when someone is in danger." Lin Han's mouth twitched. This guy is quite charming. But how did he know the organization's plan? It seems this person is not so simple. According to the original plot, Yi Chen's ambitious first goal after returning home: first, take down the four major families of Suhang, and to control the four major families. In addition to flirting, he also has to remove the stumbling blocks one by one. Qin Ming as the male heir of the Qin family, it is his stumbling block, so he dispatched several elite members to take action. Yumian Healy Lin Han, it's in charge of the Qin family. He approached Qin Ming, using beauty to control Qin Ming, go flirt with another rich young master. Eventually, the two had a conflict. Qin Ming was poisoned to death by the jade-faced fox. The Qin family believed it was that young master who did it. After the two families went to war, Yi Chen reaped the benefits. After carefully recalling the plot, Tang Yu let out a sigh of relief. I remembered. The regulations of the Longhan organization are very strict. Do not change the task casually. This woman and I are just playing around. The real target is Qin Ming and another ghost named Bao Mei. Since that's the case, I don't need to panic too much either. Just play my role well. Let her feel disgusted with herself and walk away. Hearing all of this, Lin Han frowned slightly. This guy actually knows so much about the Dragon Soul organization. This wealthy second-generation Tang is no ordinary person. After adjusting my mindset, Tang Yu moved closer to Lin Han with a lewd smile. Lin Han leaned against Tang Yu, sending him a flirtatious glance. He wants to see, how much does this guy really know about their organization? Tang Yu felt a stir of doubt in her heart. Why is this not following the usual playbook? Your goal is Qin Ming's words. Shouldn't we take a few glances at him now? Does he know that Qin Ming likes to be a bull-headed man? Deliberately putting on this act for Qin Ming to see. Okay, let's just perform. Later, I'll just use you to deal with that foolish woman, Sumu Yu. However, Yi Chenjai is quite despicable. No woman from our own organization will be spared. Deliberately assigning them impossible and dangerous tasks. Then rushed to the rescue. He handled everything by himself. Tang Yu felt a wave of emotions in his heart. At this moment, Lin Han was in utter shock. In the past 2 years, he has failed 2 missions. All were saved by the Dragon King's intervention. Even to save him, the Dragon King is still seriously injured. This moved him deeply in his heart. Now that I hear Tang Yu speak like this, he suddenly sensed that something was off. At this moment, Sumu Yu finally made her appearance. After Sumu Yu arrived, seeing a woman whose looks rival my own, nestled in Tang Yu's embrace. The eyes blazed with fury. Tang Yu smiled faintly. Finally, this nasty woman has arrived. Did you see it? I'm holding such a stunning beauty. Can you still endure? Don't hesitate anymore. Hurry up and explode with anger. Today you're allowed to splash a drink in my face." Sumu Yu heard this guy's inner voice. In that moment, I understood his plan. Sure enough, this guy intentionally posted short videos to annoy me. Just thinking about forcing myself to give up on arranged marriage. I will do the opposite of what he wishes. His expression softened slightly. Sat down beside Tang Yu. "I see you drinking alone here. I also want to drink." Tang Yu is completely pressed now. The man dressed like the villain from the novel. To get rid of the heroine who has been chasing me for 3 years. Unwilling to turn herself into a man's plaything. Unexpectedly, the female lead did not follow the script. Tang Yu completely pushed hard. It seems I can only be more ruthless. He wrapped his arms around Lin Han. With a lewd expression on his face, he provoked. Lin Han's body trembled slightly. I almost slapped him dead with a backhand. Sumu Yu felt both angry and amused in her heart. This guy's terrible acting is trying to force me to leave. No way. Sumu Yu directly reached out to hold Tang Yu's hand. Tang Yu seriously suspected that Sumu Yu was possessed by Wu Da Lang. "What is your identity and position?" Sumu Yu's expression was gentle. "These 3 years, I have tested you. You've suffered too much injustice. But from now on, it's really not finished, is it? Isn't it just a line on paper?" Tang Yu let out a cold laugh. Then he hugged Lin Han and stood up to leave platform 1. Qin Ming stood by, stunned. "Why is everyone so wild today?" Lin Han, held by Tang Yu. "The work is ready to strike at any moment." Fortunately, Tang Yu hugged him after throwing a punch. He was taken out through the back door of the Zinc Club. Tang Yu took off the handkerchief worth millions. "Send another gift to Lin Han. I like girls who are understanding like you. Can't open my mouth without asking for money. I'll go back and talk to him about the annulment. Let's drink together next time." After speaking, Tang Yu elegantly returned to the Galaxy Club. Sumu Yu's acting skills are exceptional. In the end, my skills surpassed theirs. Lin Han felt a surge of emotions upon hearing these words. "I will definitely tell Yi Chen." At that time, Yi Chen, that idiot. "You don't really think you're competing with him for women, do you?" Lin Han casually put away the watch that Tang Yu gave him. "Quickly get back to the car." I dialed Yi Chen's phone number. "What's wrong, Hal? Is the mission going smoothly?" On the other end of the phone, Yi Chen's voice came through. Wang Cheng heard Yi Chen calling him Hal. Lin Han felt quite happy. You could hear Tang Yu saying quite a bit in his heart. His mindset has undergone some significant changes at this moment. For Yi Chen's intimate nickname, he instinctively felt a bit of aversion. Even think this guy is a bit hypocritical. We are getting close to the target. However, when nearing the goal, met Tang Yu and Sumu Yu. Yi Chen in the call center was already furious. The woman he likes is never allowed to be touched by anyone else. Lin Han saw the situation and applied to change the plan. Let him infiltrate the Tang family to get close to Tang Yu. This way, we can better protect Sumu Yu. He no longer has the heart to continue the mission. I just want to get closer to Tang Yu to hear more news from him. Perhaps it's a piece of news I've been probing for all along. He can provide the answer. To protect his harem. Yi Chen had no choice but to agree. Lin Han hung up the phone with a frown. After listening to Tang Yu's heartfelt words, their attitude towards Yi Chen became increasingly disdainful. When Tang Yu returned to the first platform, Suma Yu is already lying on the table. Tang Yu has a severe headache. If this woman can't drink, then don't let her drink. You don't have to go all out just to act in a play. What if one takes advantage of others' misfortunes? Then the Dragon King would become the Green Hat capturing Dragon King. Just honestly remain a villain dog for now. Tang Yu carried Sumu Yu on his back. I immediately felt a soft pat on my back. The man dressed up as the villain from the novel. The Tengu changed his identity and put a green hat on the female lead. Unexpectedly, one's true self was heard again. In order to prevent Tang Yu from succeeding, Sumu Yu sat up against the celestial dog. The head accidentally fell on Tang Yu's shoulder. Tang Yu pushed her head away without hesitation. But Sumu Yu just smiled foolishly. It was stuck to Tang Yu again. Then, in an unfathomably delicate and angry tone, "They just want to stick with you." Tang Yu looked confused. Then I remembered again. This woman was very small when she was young. Her mother died of cancer. Father Su Zhongshan has a strong-willed personality. Busy revitalizing the Su family, there was little time to accompany her. Under loneliness and pressure, she developed a stubborn and strong-willed personality. People are becoming increasingly cold and independent. But once you get drunk, it would reveal her delicate and vulnerable side. "But why are you showing me this side?" Seeing Sumu Yu about to climb onto me, Tang Yu struggled to push her away. But she overestimated herself, due to the author's nonsensical setup. As a villain, she was just an ordinary height of handsome. The combat strength is quite lacking. As the first female lead, Sumu Yu has a certain level of martial arts skills. Dealing with 2 or 3 big men is a piece of cake. At that moment, Sumu Yu climbed onto her. He chuckled. "Come here, give me a kiss." She pouted and started shaking her head. A little closer to Tang Yu. Tang Yu struggled to resist. But her hands were firmly held down. She could only try to shake her head to dodge. What the heck? It really made her take a deep breath. Wait until she wakes up from her drunkenness. Thinking about this almost made me want to end myself. As Tang Yu continued to struggle, Sumu Yu missed the kiss several times. But the face couldn't be trusted. "I have kissed you for so many years. Why don't you kiss me?" Tang Yu was about to cry. Where is Sumu Yu? This is a thirsty female elf. At that moment, Sumu Yu suddenly leaned in to kiss. "Don't ignore me, please. This time let me lick you, okay?" She suddenly acted cute. Tang Yu really couldn't handle it for a moment. Just a few seconds after she finished speaking, I fell asleep lying on Tang Yu. Tang Yu often let out a sigh. This woman has finally quieted down. Keep struggling. Her pure and pristine body. I'm afraid she'll ruin it. After driving for about 10 more minutes, finally returned to the Tang family. Tang Yu didn't plan to send Sumu Yu back. She's this drunk. It's also difficult to explain to the Su family if we send it back. Carrying Sumu Yu just got off the car. Tang Yu saw his father Tang Gencheng standing at the gate. Tang Gencheng's face was as dark as if he wasn't there at all. Half an hour ago, he finished resting at home and checked his phone. Suddenly, a wife sent him a video link. He pushed it in to take a look. I saw my son with a lewd expression on his face, embracing 4 women while drinking. This guy is still shouting, "I'm not trash. I just want to give them a home." This made him quite angry. Now I see Tang Yu carrying a woman off the car. Still has a face full of lipstick marks. He slowly pulled out his belt. Rehabilitation Prince Wang. Extracting the 7 kings. Tang Yu was so scared that he nearly jumped up. I already guessed what my dad wants to do. Tang Gencheng let out a cold sneer. He tightened the belt in his hand. You've got some skills, huh? This is when the marriage was settled. So you're finally showing your true colors, huh? Tang Yu quickly tossed the pot away. Listening and watching makes one anxious. I just realized she is indeed my future daughter-in-law. This eased the tension on his face a bit. Slowly tucked the belt back in. After returning home, Sumu Yu, who had already fallen asleep, slowly opened her eyes. He has now woken up, or he was just not that drunk in the beginning. While in the car, he was drunk, yet reason still kept him waiting. But under the influence of alcohol, he didn't really want to stay rational. However, now that I am completely awake, he really felt a bit embarrassed when he thought about it. The man dressed up as the villain from the novel. From the moment he appeared, all the female leads easily had him under control. Just a second ago, I was trying every possible way to cancel the engagement with Sumu Yu. In the next moment, take him back home. The next morning, bright and early, Sumu Yu rubbed her sleepy eyes. Just get up and wash up a bit. When he walked out, just happened to bump into Tang, who had just finished bathing. Tang Yu seems to have lost his spirit. After seeing Sumu Yu, his expression became somewhat displeased. Why is that woman staring at me? Are you thinking about what happened last night? Sai, just a madman. Next time, I absolutely cannot drink with her. Otherwise, even this pure and flawless body won't be preserved. Hearing the heart's voice of Tang Yu, Sumu Yu started to feel her face burning again. I remembered what happened on the car last night. She felt a bit hesitant to look directly into Tang Yu's eyes. Said good morning and lowered my head to walk ahead. Yaxi, this is the reaction you should have. Be a little cold towards me, okay. Tang Yu followed behind, feeling quite pleased. This woman finally looks normal. Today's dinner was prepared early in the morning by Tang Fu. After all, this is Lear's first dinner at home. It's better to give them some special care. She is very satisfied with Sumu Yu. This girl is beautiful and capable, although their personality is a bit cold. Let my son be a dog for 3 years. Tang Yu suddenly appeared without a greeting, bringing chaos. Tang Fu was a bit dissatisfied. If you love to eat, then eat. If not, then forget it. I am not a grass thief, not interested in taking care of someone else's harem. Hearing the voice of the sugar fish, Sumu Yu suddenly felt a bit of a toothache. This bastard. It's just a dish. It's not like I ate it. She had a guilty expression, indicating that she had caused trouble for the Tang family. The sweet father and the gentle smile. It's okay, it's okay. It's all this brat's fault for being useless. I have to take you out for drinks. Tang Yu looked across the grass. I'm almost like a cook myself. You memorized it professionally, right? Sumu Yu bit her lip, looking aggrieved. I insisted on going with her to drink. I'm not feeling well. As soon as she said that, Tang Fu became increasingly satisfied with her. So difficult. You're starting to act like me again, aren't you? Still trying to gain favor with my parents here. Understood. You are intentionally trying to trap me. Doesn't want to bear the pressure of canceling the engagement. Let me take the blame. After pondering in my heart, Tang Yu finally made a mistake, preparing to discuss the matter of the arranged marriage again. But she hadn't finished speaking. Tang Fu had already taken out his belt. This son of mine. Previously, I refused to listen to advice and insisted on being a sim. It has been exactly 3 years. Now, finally, I have embraced the beauty. This kid is up to mischief again. Isn't this just asking for a beating? Within the WAD group, Wang Yixu is reviewing a survey report. It is about the French company Fals. After I heard the information from Tang Yu last time, she has more and more information in her hands. After several days of investigation, the truth is right in front of her. Fowl's company indeed has major problems. The person in charge who has been trying to promote this business. On her wife's bank card, recently I suddenly gained 20 million. She had someone look into the source of this money. It turns out that it was a celebrity named Hina who turned around, the sponsor of this female celebrity. It was his cousin Wan Rorong. If she guessed correctly, this 20 million is mostly for the leader's medical expenses. Wang Yixu's eyes flashed with a hint of cold light. For those who betray from within, she would never back down, even if it's my own cousin. However, compared to Wan Rurong, she cares more about another person. Yi Chen. This person is already on her kill list. But she did not investigate this person's connections thoroughly. Her identity is too mysterious, surrounded by a layer of mist. Currently, the only thing she can investigate is, it is an investment company called Huaging. This company half a month ago invest heavily in shares of the Fars company, became the largest shareholder. But this company is not under Yi Chen's name. This person is hiding very well. The man dressed as the villain from the novel, yet became the divine helper of the heroines. Under the guidance of Tang Yu's inner voice, Wang Zui successfully investigated the company's issues. But the investigation of Yi Chen is not a momentary affair. She thought for a moment and made a phone call. About 10 minutes later, a middle-aged man walked in. He is the head of the company, Lai Desheng. As soon as she entered, Wang Yixu asked him how many years he had been at the company. Lai Desheng laughed heartily. Exactly 30 years. I have dedicated my whole life to the company. Wang Yixu suddenly slammed the table and coldly shouted. Ultimately, it is a tribute to the company. It is still dedicated to a meaning for Wang Rulong. A glimmer of panic flashed in Lai Desheng's eyes. However, his expression remained calm, feigning confusion. Wang Yixu's expression was cold as she continued to threaten. This made Lai Desheng's legs tremble, quickly knelt on the ground and begged. Soon everything will be revealed. Wang Yixu felt a bit shocked after hearing this. All of this was perfectly expressed by Tang Yu's inner voice. What a great Yi Chen! You think you can take advantage of me, huh? He smiled coldly in his heart. I have already come up with a revenge plan. Let Lai Desheng inform Wan Rulong first. I agree to this collaboration. Lai Desheng nodded repeatedly, often let out a sigh of relief, just as I was about to take the elevator down to find Wang Rulong. Just then, Wang Rulong was holding a document. Walk out of the elevator. Lai Desheng then told him. Wan Yixu agreed to cooperate. Wan Rulong's face was filled with joy. With this, once the plan succeeds, the position of the general manager, it will soon be in my hands. As for Sister Tang, she should just obediently get married. Wan Rulong returned to the office. Call Yi Chen. At this moment, Yi Chen is patrolling the neighborhood. After receiving the call from Wang Rulong, instantly in a great mood, then gave it to the Dragon Soul organization, made a phone call. Let the subordinates take from the organization account. Earn 30 billion at Fowl's company. Because of this time, Far's company cooperate with the Tengwan Group. Tengwan Group will provide 50 billion in funding. And the Fars company need to invest 30 billion in funds and technical personnel. But now the Fowl's company, it has become an empty shell. So this amount of money, he has to take it out from the Dragon Soul organization. But this money is only take it out for a bit, until I conquer Wang Yixu. The Wang family's wealth of hundreds of billions is all theirs. After the Dragon Soul organization transferred the money to Fal's company, Wang Yixu has always been under scrutiny. Received the news immediately. Wang Yixu had a new smile on her face. The tax evasion case of Far's company. She has already investigated thoroughly. Tax evasion in France is quite rampant. Once caught, they are about to face exorbitant fines. According to her estimation, this 30 billion might not be enough for the fines. But this is still not enough. She checked on Huijin Investment Company. The company's assets are around 500 billion. 300 billion light is nothing to them. It's not a significant loss. Her revenge has just begun. Before I could even settle in, I received a message from Wang Yixu. Still stiff, Tang Yu smiled mischievously. Keep a distance from the female lead. It is the only way to survive. So she replied with 2 words. Busy. Wang Yixu quickly replied, also sent over a picture. Is that so? Then there's no other way. Yesterday, while I was cleaning my phone, accidentally found the old photos of Wang Shan. I wonder what will happen if I post on Moments. Tang Yu glanced over. Her expression changed instantly. Whoa, isn't this a photo of me in her room? So I quickly put away my phone, left the company with tears in my eyes. When they finally arrived at the deep-sea restaurant, Wang Yixu was already waiting at the door. Tang Yu had a cold expression, clearly displeased. "Damn it. Isn't the deep-sea restaurant a place for eating people? Is it about doing business or doing $1 billion business?" Hearing Tang Yu's heartfelt voice, Wang Yixu's lips twitched. This guy is afraid he might eat her, isn't he? She her arm and looked at Tang Yu. Tang Yu knew that this woman was indirectly threatening him, but he could only honestly reach out and hold Wang Yixu's arm. The man dressed up as the villain from the novel, forced to participate in my ex-girlfriend's revenge campaign, in order to make the male lead successfully collapse. But she didn't care at all. As long as one exists authentically, that's enough, according to the development of the plot. She wasn't too happy about it. Give that guy who looks like he's seriously ill when he smiles a spotlight. Only someone with a messed up brain would do this. My little Tang Yu is still the cutest. Tang Yu suddenly noticed Wang Yixu's gaze while eating, being stared at so intently by such a beautiful woman. Tang Yu also felt a bit embarrassed. "Oh, you're blushing. Let me take a look." Wang Yixu teased Chuan and then spoke up. "I recently planned to invest in a project. Still short by 30 billion. Why don't you invest together?" Tang Yu was taken aback. With the assets of the Tang family, there's actually no pressure in taking out 30 billion in liquid funds. But what does he need 300 billion for at this time? Tang Yu seriously asked about his thirst for life. Wang Yixu smiled sweetly. "New energy. Didn't you think it was quite good last time, too?" "Oh, all right." "Then let's consider it my investment in this project. But you have to promise me 2 conditions. Don't bother me if there's nothing important. Second, do you know that men and women should not be too close?" Wang Yixu nodded vigorously. "Anyway, I won't keep my word either. Today you are indifferent to me. Tomorrow I will come to find you again. Third, give me your phone. Fourth, I want to delete both the video and the photos." A woman full of tricks. "Later, I'll delete all the photos and videos." "You can't threaten me." Wang Yixu hesitated for a moment. Then he took out his phone and handed it to Tang Yu. Tang Yu Shuang happily took the phone. "First, open WeChat and delete the photos in the records. Then delete the video as well. In the end, only the photos in the album remain." He opened the album and was stunned. In the first photo, Wang Yixu is dressed as meat. Whoa, this is something I can watch for free. He kept sliding his fingers across the screen. After flipping through more than 10 pages, I finally translated this set of the Rabbit Queen. But then, another set of nurse's uniform. Tang Yu's face has started to turn a bit red. It's good that after putting on this nurse uniform, finally found the snapshot of myself. He quickly deleted his dark history. This is when the phone was returned to Wang Yixu. Wang Yixu felt incredibly happy at this moment. New Yu Jiaxi. These photos were specially taken to tease this guy. I didn't expect him to take the bait himself. Tang Yu coughed twice and said, "The eyes reveal a hint of guilt. This is Wang Yixu urging. Hurry and have someone transfer the money. I will notify you once the project is successful." Tang Yu nodded. I made a phone call to the company using my mobile phone. After hanging up the phone, my mood instantly improved. The girl in the cloth is indeed good. It would be better if we could wear even less. Later, I will find Qin Ming to have him arrange it. Wang Yixu suddenly remembered. He almost forgot to settle the score with this guy. Last time I brought Tang Yu to the new guest club. Later, I arranged a bunch of girls for him. Turn around and find someone to deal with him. After the two of them came out of the deep-sea restaurant, they each drove back to their respective companies. When Wang Yixu returned home, the funds from the Tang Group are now in place, including the 50 billion he has prepared on hand. That's a full 80 billion. This time, he wants to pull off a big job. Let that guy named Yi Chen bleed profusely. He is the protagonist. Tang Yu is the villain. Brought this upon yourself. Watch him become the main character. The man has just transformed into the villain from a novel, rescuing the ex-girlfriend before work ruins the male lead. Wang Yixu initially intentionally collaborated on a project with Fell's company, after Yi Chen invested 30 billion, to publicly report the tax evasion activities of Far's company. They will face exorbitant fines. After the fallacy company scandal, Jing Investment Company, as the largest shareholder, also suffered heavy losses. They were exposed for illegally using funds. Relevant departments have already intervened in the investigation. After this news broke, the explosion at the Far's company. His plan to win over Wang Yixu was completely ruined. Lost so much all at once. His heart was bleeding. What he couldn't accept even more was, Jing Investment has suffered significant losses. The company is desperately pouring money into the market to rescue it. Jing Investment is one of the major companies under the Long Hun organization. Total assets are around 500 billion. The stock market is plunging right now. Their losses amount to at least nearly 1 trillion. The phone on this end will be reporting again. This wave of losses is mainly due to some people taking the opportunity to short the market. The other party invested a total of 80 billion Huaxia coins. The organization has completed the investigation. This money was invested by the Tangwang Group and the Tang Group. Yi Chen's face turned green. How could their two families do such a thing? Where exactly did the problem arise? One's plan should be flawless. As long as my identity remains hidden and has not been exposed, he'll find another way to win over Wang Yixu. To conquer a woman, he has 1,001 methods. As for Tang Yun, the money he made this time, he must repay with his life when he arrives. Then he took out his phone to send a text message. Give a seal to your subordinates. The evidence against the Tang family group must be uncovered within half a month. I wish the Tang family a miserable end. After sending the message, he arrived at Villa 8. The eldest daughter of the Qin family, Kin Kexin lives here, seeing that no one was around. He effortlessly threw the window of the Snake Boy Villa's second floor inside, then stood downstairs, silently waiting for a hero to save the day. At this moment, Tang Yu was lying at home, browsing on Xianyu. Suddenly, a system notification sounded. The host successfully survived the plot, rewarding a building of the Minju Hotel, once transferred to the host's name. He had a fierce expression. "I did nothing at home." The sound of the system echoed. He successfully lived through 88 plots. Tang Yu thought for a moment. The loneliness of the Dragon King's night city is a success. Wang Yixu successfully jumped into his pit. Tingwing Group's 50 billion in funds was frozen. Next, Wan Rurong began to seize. Then he went out to flirt with girls. Tang Yu smiled with relief. "I've worked so hard acting like a dog for so long." Finally gave brother Yin Yang a reward for his bravery. In a good mood, he stood up and tidied up a bit. "I'm just getting ready to check out my new reward." The Minju Hotel sounds like a very ordinary name, but in Seoju and Hangzhou, courage is urgently needed. Its value is approximately 20 billion. This time, the dog system can generate such a large income. Tang Yu also didn't expect it. Ran to the garage. Tang Yu was just about to set off in his sports car, but it turned out to be a call from the company. Tang Shang. A 30 billion investment was transferred to Tangwan Group a few days ago. Already earned it back. In addition, there is a profit of 15 billion. Tang Yu began to feel that something was wrong. This money should not be invested in the new energy project by Wang Yixu. And then frozen? How to earn back with a profit of 15 billion? Making money is a joyful thing, but this is really not right. Tang Yu quickly hung up the phone, dialed Wang Yixu's number again. On the phone, Wang Yixu's sweet voice came through. He cleared his throat twice and said, "What's the status of the investment project we collaborated on last time?" I suddenly realized there was a problem with the company we were collaborating with. So I used the money meant for investment to short the opponent. Made a little profit. Teach me about good money-making opportunities next time. This line is really breaking down again. Tang Yu felt a bit like spitting blood. Let Qi and Jingdao get some rewards quietly. How do we get them? Tang Yu wiped away a tear and hung up the phone. The man dressed like a character from a novel. The male lead turned out to be a greasy playboy. They entered, making it a statement. Just left Wang Zui after suffering. Then they arrived at the Su family again. He approached with a smile and greeted Su Mu Yu. Su Mu Yu saw him, slightly furrowing her brows. Unexpectedly, this expression made Yi Chen feel a bit sweet inside. He did it to protect himself, not hesitating to show this cold attitude. It's good to distance myself from them. Su Mu Yu pushed open the car door and got out. With an impatient look, she brought him back home. Yi Chen quickly blocked his way, with a look full of affection. "Stop pretending, girl. The gaze never lies. You care about me. You are just afraid that I will be hurt by the Tang family. But I'm even stronger than you think. You will find out soon. Who holds the power in Seoju and Hangzhou?" Su Mu Yu almost vomited her lunch from the grease. The gaze of someone who truly wants to kill cannot be balanced. At that moment, several members of the Su family walked out of their home, seeing Yi Chen blocking Su Mu Yu here. Several people became furious. 2 bodyguards immediately charged forward with fierce momentum. Yi Chen looked like he needed to stand still. Let the 2 bodyguards punch him in the body. He gently shook his body. 2 bodyguards were used against him. Taking a few steps back, he fell flat on the ground. The Su family members saw this step. Awareness falls just short. seen the shocked expressions of the crowd. I want to take over the general contract for the Minju Hotel, just one of the best trials. Apart from that, I will also send you a big gift from the Sue family. Haven't you been secretly plotting all along? Do you wish to inherit that piece of land? I'll take it down for you. He originally wanted to keep a lower profile, but Su Mu Yu and the Su family's performance made him very dissatisfied. So from now on, he wants to gradually showcase his strength. Hurry up and take control of King Su. The Su family's members burst into laughter, mocking Yi Chen. They all looked at Yi Chen with the same gaze they used to look at a clown. I think this person is insane, not to mention anything else. Huang is just leveraging the reputation of the Minju Hotel. This is an impossible thing. Last year, Su Mu celebrated her birthday. Tang Yu went to meet the owner of Minju Hotel for a direct conversation, offering a price of 3 billion. The Minju Hotel still refused. Clearly state that the rules cannot be broken unless the Tang family directly buys the hotel. Things the Tang family cannot accomplish. What qualifications does he have to achieve that? Facing the ridicule of the crowd, Yi Chen just felt a moment of warmth. He pulled out the prepared document from his pocket. Throw it to the Su family. Su Zhongxin grabbed the file that was thrown over and looked at it. Suddenly, shocked beyond belief, this is Cheng Xin's express delivery of confidential materials. There is also information in the materials about 2 other developments planned for the second half of the year. Relying solely on this information, once the Su family successfully seizes the opportunity, that is hundreds of billions of data. The other members of the Su family looked at this information. The gaze towards Yi Chen changed. From the perspective of family interests, a group of people suddenly changed their thoughts. Su Mu Yu did not think much about it. She has no interest in Yi Chen at all. But Yi Chen is still boasting. This is indeed a perfect opportunity to completely get rid of her. So she said coldly, "Okay, this is what you said. What if it doesn't work out then? You are not allowed to bother me anymore. Anyway, the top floor of Minju Hotel is absolutely not available for lease. At that time, words will be untrustworthy." She no longer had the face to continue pestering herself. Yi Chen nodded proudly. Then he swaggered away. I haven't walked far yet. A sedan stopped in front of her. A tall man got out of the car. This is one of the 8 great generals of the Dragon Soul organization, named Longya. This person has gained Yi Chen's deep trust. He usually goes wherever. Always carry the dragon tooth with you. Recently, Huajin investment experienced significant growth. The Dragon King recalled her from Europe to Huaxia, and she mobilized a staggering 500 billion in funds. Successfully acquired the Fei Group in Suzhou and Hangzhou, and renamed as Lincheng Group. This Suzhou and Hangzhou are not quite what she imagined. Relying solely on a low-key small city atmosphere, she decided to speed up her conquest of Suzhou and Hangzhou. Lincheng Group is just her stepping stone and arrogance. The man dressed like the villain from the novel. As long as the dog survives a segment of the storyline, there will be corresponding rewards. But this will also trigger the butterfly effect. Significantly change the plot and move it forward. Hang arrived at the Minju Hotel to check his reward. Traveling through so many rounds with the dog system, this reward is indeed quite generous. But it always feels like something is off. At this moment, the hotel manager was already waiting for her. The 2 had just taken their seats for a short while. Her secretary rushed in. "Manager, the head of Lincheng Group is coming to our hotel. Said they want to book the top floor of the hotel for a birthday party." The general manager raised an eyebrow. The rooftop of Minju Hotel is one of its main attractions, because of the beautiful scenery. Every day esteemed guests come here to indulge. But if it's to book the entire top floor of a hotel for one person, it will definitely offend other guests." Just as she was about to refuse, Teng Yu suddenly asked, "Len Cheng Group?" "Yes. Not long ago it was called Blackstone Group. After being acquired it was renamed." Teng Yu let out a sudden exclamation. "Isn't this the plot of chapter 95 of the original book? Lai Yechen is no longer pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger. Begin to gradually showcase one's abilities. To prove myself to the Sioux family, she has contracted the top floor of the Minju Hotel, which is never open. A celebration was held for Sumu Yu,